A lot of money checking in, man. Listen, YouTube, let's get right to it. So today's video topic is going to be about how to stop being average, right? Now, there's nothing wrong with being average. I want to say that first, right? You take the lower numbers and the higher numbers and you add them up, and then you find the common median, and that's your average, right? So average just means, right, normal, or I wouldn't say, it's not necessarily bad, right? It's more so just a point on the spectrum, right? Then you have people that are great and then beyond that, right? So how do you stop being average? Well, it starts mentally, right? It starts with raising our standards. If we can't raise our standards of who we think we are, who we want to become, if we don't know, we have to identify those things first. If I don't know what I actually want or what I may want in the future, how do I break that thinking process? How do I think higher of myself so that way I can achieve higher, right? And there's nothing wrong with achieving more, right? Just like there's nothing wrong with being average, right? There has to be average people in life doing average things, because the economy actually relies on average people. But there also needs to be people who are above average in certain things, right? In certain fields, you might be above average. If you're like for me, I'm a I am a personal trainer, so I am above average in certain aspects of my life. But to somebody that might be in finance, my financial literacy compared to them might actually be an average level versus, when in comparison with them. But if they compared themselves to me, I might be above average in terms of my physique. When we compare our physiques together, I might have a more above average physique as opposed to them. Does that make me better? No. It's just a point, right? So understanding where your starting point is actually gonna have a more of an impact when you know where you're starting, because you just have to be honest with yourself, right? Which is gonna bring me to my second point. You need to be honest and have that self-evaluation. If you can't evaluate yourself and honestly assess where you're currently at, it doesn't matter if you have a coach, because at the end of the day, the things that you say you want and the things that you say you want to go after has to come from you first, right? If in your mind you don't think you can do it, when you try to go, put action to these thoughts, because right now they're just thoughts, right? When you're putting actions towards it, right? If you don't really have a deep enough reason, then you'll stop. And that's what's going to keep you average, right? That's what's going to keep you average. Not taking responsibility of your life is going to keep you average, right? Number 3, if you don't know how to make everything your fault and not take it personally, then you will continue to be average, right? Most people say they don't want to be average, but they don't want to do the work that is required of them not to be average, right? An average way of thinking of something: if somebody does something to me, I do something back. But that isn't going to get you to that next level, because a leader, someone who's not average, isn't going to think with that same mindset. They're going to think with, forethought. What's going to happen if I hit this person in the face, right? Taking it a step further, not just leaving it on the surface level and being average in that way of thinking. So there's so many different aspects of how we can become more how we can become colder, right? How we can become better versions of ourselves. And the pursuit of, self-improvement is going to keep you on a path to not be average. The only time you can be average is when you let yourself backslide, when you feel like you're getting too comfortable, right? A lot of times when people get success, they get a little bit of success and then they slow down or they go backwards, right? So you got to be really intentional with your time and where your efforts are going, and that you should always be striving for more, whether that be certain aspects of your life Your life should be above average in all aspects, and if it's not, then it's on you to take those 3 steps that I gave you and apply it, so that way you can not be average. All right, so if you guys made it this far, go ahead and drop a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.